I've shared the file also. Okay. Now see. So in this chapter, magnetic effect of current, what are all the important laws that we have discussed? So what does this chapter mainly speak about? That when there is a current flowing through a conductor, what is the field that is present around the conductor? It is the magnetic field. That's what the chapter speaks, right? For example, the electrostatic speaks about when you have charges, around the charges you have electric field. Similarly, when you put these charges in motion, you have magnetic field around, right? So that was first observed by Oersted. So Oersted's experiment was the first to observe the magnetic effects of current. Then we know what is a magnetic field. It is nothing but the space in the surrounding region of a magnet or any current carrying conductor in which magnetic influence can be experienced is what is called as the magnetic field. Okay. So what are the SI units of it? In this chapter, we learn it as Tesla, but this can also be written in terms of the unit of flux, which is Weber per meter square, right? So this Weber per meter square can also be written as Newton per ampere per meter. Similarly, the CGS unit is Gauss. 1 Gauss is 10 power minus 4 Tesla. So how do we find the direction of magnetic field? So what are the rules that you know, guys?
Right hand thumb.
So you have right hand thumb rule. So that is one method, or you find using the cross product of vectors also. That is when you solve, when you try to calculate the direction of magnetic field due to a current carrying conductor, we can also use the cross product, right? The cross product comes from the Biot-Savart law. 1 minute. Yes. So, or else you can use the screw rule also. That is when you curl the fingers in the clockwise direction, your thumb is always, when you curl the fingers of your right hand in the clockwise direction, your thumb always points into the plane. When you curl the fingers of your right hand in the anti-clockwise direction, your thumb is always outward, right? That's what the screw rule explains. Similarly, Ampere's rule also speaks about this thing only. When you Ampere's, I mean, the thumb rule, the right hand thumb rule says when you hold the conductor in such a way, the thumb is in the direction of current, then you curl the fingers in the direction of magnetic field, right? Next is this Biot-Savart law. Okay, so what does this Biot-Savart law speak about? When you have a current carrying conductor, when current is flowing, due to a small current carrying element, there will be a small magnetic field produced at a point P, which is at a distance r from the current carrying element, and it makes an angle theta with the current carrying element. Then dB is given as mu naught divided by 4 pi into I into dl vector cross r vector, the whole divided by r cube, or mu naught divided by 4 pi IDL sine theta, the whole divided by r square. That is, when you write it in the scalar form, the denominator will be r square. Whereas when you write it in the vector form, the denominator will be r cube. I hope this point is clear to you guys. Right. So this, whenever you want to find the direction, you can find the direction of dl, you can find the direction of r vector, do the cross product between them, that will give you the direction of the magnetic field. Right. So this mu naught by 4 pi is written when the medium is air or vacuum. Suppose the current carrying conductor is placed in some other medium other than air, then the permittivity of that medium, if I call it as mu, there is something called as relative permeability. You remember this? Relative permeability is defined as the permeability of medium to the permeability of free space. So if mu is the permeability of medium, then it will come to the other side. Then mu naught into mu r is the one to be replaced in the position of mu naught. Okay, to put it in simple terms, multiply the whole expression that you obtain in the air medium with mu r, where mu r is the relative permeability. Okay, so there is the formula. This you need not worry about. Next is the magnetic field due to a straight current carrying conductor. So when you have a straight current carrying conductor which is of finite length L, okay, which is of finite length, where it is able to subtend an angle phi 1 and phi 2 at the point where you're trying to calculate the field. Okay, let's say the current through the straight current carrying conductor is I, The perpendicular distance from the current carrying conductor to the point P is R, and the angles subtended at point P are phi 1 and phi 2. Then the value of B is given as mu naught divided by 4 pi into I divided by R multiplied with sine phi 1 plus sine of phi 2. Okay, so this is the value. Suppose the conductor is of infinite length. If the conductor is of infinite length, then what will happen? Then phi 1 will be equal to phi 2 will be equal to pi by 2. If you substitute it there, then the expression will be mu naught I divided by 2 pi r. This is also an important expression to remember. This you would have used in CBSE multiple times. Okay. Similarly, had it been a semi-infinite wire, semi-infinite abdina, the point P coincides with one of the ends. If that is the case, then phi 1 can be taken as 90 degrees and phi 2 can be taken as 0 degrees. So if you substitute it, you will get mu naught I divided by 4 pi r. So when you're reading the question, you need to be very careful. Tell me one thing, are you guys clear with these two important points?
Yes, sir.
Right, that's good. So if you try to draw the magnetic field around the straight current carrying conductor, they will be concentric circles. Okay. The right hand thumb rule concept we already discussed. Similarly, when you try to calculate the magnetic field at the center of a circular current carrying conductor, then how do you find it? Right. So the magnetic field at the center due to a whole circular loop is given by the expression mu naught I divided by 2 pi a. There is something wrong with this. What is it? What is wrong in this, guys? There is a mistake. So mostly what will happen, this is a common mistake, okay? See, generally, what is the circumference of a circle? It is 2 pi r, right? Whereas when I talk about a straight current carrying conductor, the concept of pi does not come into picture, right? So when you calculate the magnetic field due to an infinite length wire, it is mu naught I divided by 2 pi r. Whereas due to a current carrying circular loop, it is only mu naught I divided by 2a. There is no pi. That is a mistake actually. The pi will not be here. Okay, it is only mu naught I by 2a. I'm telling this because our mind tends to write 2 pi for a circle because you will think that pi will be there. Pi will not be there for a circle, rather it will only be there for a straight line. So have this point in your mind. If suppose you want to find the magnetic field due to a small portion of the current carrying conductor, current carrying circular coil, which is making an angle theta at the center, then you can remember this formula. Mu naught by 4 pi is the constant, okay, into I divided by R multiplied with theta, where theta should be taken in terms of radians, not in terms of degrees. Please have this in your mind. Okay, this is also an important formula. Suppose if it is a full wire, then what will be the value of theta? If it is a complete circle, the value of theta is going to be 2 pi. When you substitute 2 pi, you are going to get mu naught I by 2a. That is this formula. So there is no pi. Have this in your mind. Similarly, I would have explained this clock rule also. Right? When you have a current carrying conductor, if the current is flowing in the clockwise direction, then it appears like what pole? It appears like south pole. This is the concept that we'll be using in the case of Lenz's law. Similarly, when the current is flowing in the anti-clockwise direction, it appears like a north pole, right? That is why. So if I'm able to see the clockwise direction this side, if I go to the back side of the paper and see, it will appear like anti-clockwise direction. So a circular loop will actually behave like a magnetic dipole. This is also an important point. So circular loop need not be only in the shape of a circle. It can be in the shape of a rectangle or any other random shape. It can be like this also. But still, this will behave like a magnetic dipole. I'm saying it as magnetic dipole because this side is south pole, the back side will be north pole. Okay. Next, magnetic field on the axis of a current carrying circular coil. What is the formula, guys? Mu naught n into I. Okay, mu naught n into I. Actually, let's use capital N, because number of turns always capital N, small n is like number density. Mu naught Ni, according to CBSE, a square divided by 2 into a square plus x square the whole power 3 by 2, where capital N is the number of turns, I is the current, a is the radius, and x is the distance from the center to the point on the axis where you're trying to calculate the magnetic field. And this is also an important formula. Okay, now I have a question. So you found the magnetic field due to a circular current carrying coil. So circular current carrying coil is nothing but a ring, correct? So if I take a ring, instead of current, if I speak about charge on top of it, okay? And I'm asking you to calculate the electric field at point P, which is at a distance x, and still the radius, all those things are a. By looking at this expression, will you be able to derive the expression for electric field? Can you guys try? Can you guys try? Sure. I leave this part to you. You tell me by today evening.
Sir, 2 minutes, 1 second. Sir,
Hold on.
1 by 2 epsilon naught q a by a square plus x square power 3 by 2.
1 by 2 epsilon naught. Solo. Into
q a by a square plus x square power 3 by 2.
Q A va.
ஆமாம் சார்.
Q A by A square plus X square the whole power 3 by 2. The Q is another total charge, correct?
ஆமாம் சார்.
Okay. Then what is this A? A is the radius, sir.
ரேடியஸ் சார்.
Okay. சரி, ஒன்று பண்ணலாம். Try to verify this expression by deriving. You know how to derive this, right?
ஆமாம் சார்.
எப்படி பண்ணுவ? You will consider a small current
Yes,
carrying
sir.
element, small charge. The dq will be equal to lambda into dx. Due to that lambda into dx, find the electric field at that point, integrate it, you will get the answer. Just try to verify if this both are right.
Okay, sir.
I think x is missing here. You verify and let me know.
Okay, sir.
Okay. It's okay. So if this formula has to be modified at the center, then you will get it as mu naught capital Ni divided by 2a. Correct? This also we know. This is what I wrote here. But it was only one due to whole circular loop. If it is n number of turns, it will be mu naught ni divided by 2a. Right? Similarly, you know what is Ampere's circuital law. So Ampere's circuital law states the line integral of B dot dl is equal to mu naught times the current enclosed by the Amperian loop. Right? So this magnetic field due to a current carrying long cylindrical wire is given by the expression mu naught I divided by 2r for the value of r greater than capital R. That is, if you take a cylindrical wire, then you want to calculate the magnetic field at a point P, which is outside, okay, where the value of R is greater than capital R, that will be mu naught I divided by 2 pi into small r. Similarly, inside the cylinder, when it is made up of thin metal sheet, it will be 0. Inside the cylinder, when the current is uniformly distributed throughout the cross section, it is given like this: mu naught into mu r divided by 2 pi into IR divided by R square. And if you want to find out how this expression has actually come, there is a solved example in your textbook. And even I have solved it in the class. So in the solved example, you have a similar kind of a question where the current is uniformly distributed through this wire, and we would have applied Ampere's circuital law. The only difference why this expression is changing here is because when you take a small current carrying element inside, you will be considerate only about the current through this section. The current outside that section is immaterial to us. That is why you will have I into R divided by R square. Similarly, you need not remember this expression. Okay. There is going to be no problem directly asked based on this like a formula. It is a concept actually. Okay. So I suggest you to understand the solved example so that you can derive this expression in less than 2 steps instead of memorizing it. Okay. Next is a solenoid. So what is the magnetic field due to a solenoid? So when I talk about a solenoid, it is always a long solenoid. What do we mean by long solenoid? The length is more compared to the thickness, right? So the magnetic field at any point well inside a solenoid is given by the expression mu naught into small n into I. The magnetic field at a point on one of the ends of the long solenoid is given by exactly half of the value which is present at the center. So have this point in your mind. All these things are derived using Ampere's circuital law only. These are all the applications of Ampere's law, like how we saw the applications of Gauss law in electrostatics. Similarly, when you talk about a toroid, the magnetic field inside a toroid is exactly the same expression. B is equal to mu naught into n into I, where here small n represents what? The number of turns per unit length. Always remember, capital N in physics is used for number of something. Small n is always used for number density. That number density can either be linear, areal, or volume. Okay. Next is force acting on a particle moving in a uniform magnetic field. We know that Lorentz force is given by the expression F is equal to Q into B vector cross B vector. Right? Where B is the intensity of the magnetic field, Q stands for the charge on the particle, B stands for the speed of the particle, and theta is the angle between the magnetic field and the velocity vector. Right? So if you want to obtain the direction, you can either use Fleming's left-hand rule or you can use cross product of vectors. So irrespective of any rule that is given, I would have always explained using the cross product of vectors, which I feel is more easier and accurate. Okay. So what does Fleming's left-hand rule actually state? So when you extend the forefinger in the direction of field and central finger in the direction of current, then the thumb represents the direction of the force, thrust. Okay. Thumb represents thrust, forefinger represents field, and central finger represents current. So current means the direction in which the positive charge is moving. That is what they're trying to say. So the same Fleming's left-hand rule can also be used for a charge moving as well. Next is the motion of a charged particle in uniform magnetic field. So when we talk about this concept, there are different ways in which you can project the particle into the magnetic field. If suppose you project the particle into the magnetic field in the direction of it, if a charged particle is projected into the magnetic field in the direction of it, what will be the path followed by it? Guys, charged particle projected into the magnetic field in the direction of it. What is the path?
Sir, force is
F
0,
is,
sir.
yes, F is equal to Q into V vector cross B vector, V and B same direction, so force is 0. So when I say force is 0, what will happen to the particle?
It will
So
continue to move along the same direction.
it will continue to move along the same direction with
V velocity.
uniform velocity. That's the meaning. So force is 0 means many people think the object comes to rest. No. For the object to be at rest, only V should be 0. Nothing to do with force. Right? That's good. So when you project it perpendicular to the magnetic field, what will be the direction followed by it? This unknown thing. Charged particle projected perpendicular to the magnetic field, what will happen? It will travel in a circular path. Right? For that circular path, who is providing the centripetal force? F is equal to mv square divided by r. What is the value of F? QVB is equal to mv square by r. I wrote QVB because sine 90 is 1. So V and V will be cancelled. R is equal to mv divided by QB. An important note here. Whenever you speak about charged particle being projected into magnetic field perpendicular to it, okay? So there are two fields which we always discuss, right? What are the electric and magnetic field? So charged particle projected perpendicular to the electric field will move in a parabolic path. Please make a note of it. Charged particle projected into the electric field perpendicular to it will always move in a parabolic path. Whereas charged particle projected perpendicular to the magnetic field will always move in a circular path. Okay, so have this point in your mind. So there will be problems which is based on the radius. Similarly, time period. Time period is equal to 2 pi m divided by QB. Similarly,
Sir, for
frequency
electric field parabola and magnetic field circular.
circular. Okay, electric field either perpendicular இருந்தா மட்டும். ஓகேவா? அதுவே இந்த டைரக்ஷன் ஆஃப் எலக்ட்ரிக் ஃபீல்ட் அப்படின்னா என்ன ஆகும்? When a charged particle is projected பண்ண தேவையில்லை. When you place a charged particle in the electric field, what will happen? It will start accelerating with a value of QE divided by mass of the particle. அது புரியுதா? So அதனால இந்த perpendicular concept I've seen so many people getting confused. Last time I'm repeating, charged particle projected perpendicular into first electric field, path is parabola. Magnetic field, path is circular. So circular la kuda enadhu? It is a uniform circular motion. It is not a non-uniform circular motion. Adu nyabagam vechuko. Okay va? Next. So if you try to project at any angle other than 0, 180 or 90 degrees, what will happen? It will start moving in a helical path. This is also there in your CBSE, right? So on the helical path, now what will happen? There is a concept of pitch that comes into picture. So what will be the radius of the helical path? Radius is always m into v perpendicular divided by q into v. This is what centripetal force teaches us. M into v perpendicular. When a particle is projected perpendicular to the magnetic field, by the direction of magnetic field, theta is v na, is v cos theta, is v sin theta. So with respect to magnetic field, what is the perpendicular direction of velocity? It is v sin theta. Adanal r is equal to mv sin theta divided by qb. Similarly, time period என்னவா இருக்கும்? Time period is independent of velocity. Whether the அதனால it is still 2 pi m divided by qb. Whereas there is a concept called pitch. Pitch is what? So it is a distance traveled by the charged particle in one time period. Okay, the distance is traveled in the direction of magnetic field due to the component of v cos theta. So v cos theta multiplied with time will give you the distance, and the distance is technically called pitch, which is given by the formula 2 pi mv cos theta divided by qb. Okay, now watch. Similarly, when you talk about the motion of a charged particle in combined electric and magnetic field, okay, then the force is given by the expression F is actually F vector. This bold E always in this book means it is vector. So F vector is equal to Q into E vector plus V vector cross B vector. This is the Lorentz force when a charged particle is traveling in a combined electric and magnetic fields. Okay, in the case 1 case 1 another. When VE and B are collinear, அதாவது VE. Okay, V, E and B are collinear. Okay. So when V, E and B are collinear, what will happen is magnetic force will be 0 because V and B, the angle will be 0. So what will happen when it is traveling in a combined electric and magnetic field? The particle will only accelerate with a value of how much? Q into E divided by M. I hope this point is clear to you guys. Right? So when you have velocity vector, E vector and B vector to be in the same direction, V vector cross B vector will become 0 because of the magnetic Lorentz force, and only electric field will drive the particle, where the electric field will make the particle to accelerate. It will make the particle accelerate. It will not let it move with a constant velocity. So that's what this point says. Similarly, if V, E and B are mutually perpendicular to each other, then there is a concept called velocity selector. So Fe plus Fm should be equal to 0. So when this is happening, the net force is 0 means the particle will not accelerate. So it is going to move only with a constant velocity. And that constant velocity is given by the expression E divided by B. This principle is used in velocity selector to get charged beam to have a specific velocity. So if you want the particle to have a fixed velocity, then what you can do is you can use this principle because you have the option to select the velocity. Another repair on the velocity selector. Okay. So we will see one more concept, then we'll start the problems. Then again we'll revisit for the galvanometer concept. It was cyclotron. So cyclotron principle also you know, right? So what will happen is all these D plates, I'm not going into much depth. So when you take the particle is going to move in a spiral path like this. Due to the change of the electric, due to the change of the direction of electric field, the direction of magnetic field will be fixed. Due to the change in the direction of electric field, what will happen is the particle will tend to accelerate and it starts moving with increasing radius. Okay. And the radius of each circular path is given by the value mv divided by qb. And there is something called a cyclotron frequency, which is qb divided by 2 pi m. It is exactly what we saw in the time period. qb divided by 2 pi m is the cyclotron frequency. Okay. The questions that you might get is they can ask you what is the maximum kinetic energy with which the particle is going to come out. So the maximum kinetic energy is possible when it has taken the maximum radius. The maximum radius that is possible with respect to the circular path is one of the radii of the D plates. Okay. So it is B square Q square R naught square divided by 2 into L. There's a very simple expression to derive because we know that MV is equal to BQR. MV is another, it is linear momentum. So when you talk about kinetic energy, it is P square divided by 2M. So P square na the square of this B square Q square R square divided by 2M. So that is why this expression has come. B square Q square R naught square divided by 2M. Puridada?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Similarly, when you talk about a force on a current carrying conductor in magnetic field. So when a current carrying conductor is placed in magnetic field, what will be the force experienced by it? It is given by the expression BIL sin theta, or it is I into L vector cross B vector. Okay, there's the force on a current carrying conductor. Similarly, when you talk about the force between two infinitely long parallel current carrying conductors, it is given by the expression. You will always calculate the force per unit length. You cannot calculate force. So it is given as mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi into d where d is the distance of separation between those parallel pairs. So here one concept to be kept in your mind is, if the current in both the parallel wires are flowing in the same direction, they tend to attract. The like directions of current will attract, unlike the charges. Like charges ripples like up to reverse principle. So if the current is flowing in the same direction in both the wires, they attract. If they are in opposite directions, they ripple. Okay. Next. So it's not needed. You know what is a magnetic dipole, right? So every current carrying loop is a magnetic dipole that I've explained. So it has two poles, which is south pole and the north pole. So when you have to calculate the dipole moment of a magnetic dipole in terms of current, it is given by the expression N into I into A, where N is the number of turns, I is the current through the wire, current through the loop, and A is the area of the loop. So that is N into I into A. Okay, well? Next is the torque that is acting on a current carrying coil placed in a uniform magnetic field. So torque is given by the formula NIBA sine theta in terms of scalar. If you have to write it in terms of vector, it is given as M vector cross B vector. Like how we calculate the torque for an electric dipole as P vector cross E vector, here it is going to be M vector cross B vector. Am I clear, guys? So the moving coil galvanometer we'll see later. Shall I start doing the problems? Let's see. Bye-bye. So let me start with simple problems. Let's start with the second one. So there is a proton, an electron, and a helium nucleus have the same energy. They are in circular orbits in the plane due to magnetic field perpendicular to the plane. If that is the case, what is the relation between Rp, Re, and Rhe?
Sir, so R is directly proportional to M by Q1.
Yes. Directly proportional to M by Q. Takkun paadappa pannit sollu enakku. R is equal to MV by QB. என்ன இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க? They are in circular orbits in a plane due to a magnetic field perpendicular to the plane. Have the same energy. They are speaking about the same energy. When I say same, will you be able to write this expression in terms of energy? So here, if you see, the radius is not in terms of energy, it is in terms of momentum. They didn't speak about momentum. They are speaking about energy. அப்ப என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா, it can write it as root of 2k root of 2m into k divided by qb. Because k is equal to p square divided by 2m. So p is equal to root of 2m into k. So r is directly proportional to square root of m divided by q. Not much difference. It's the same. Okay. So you need to calculate the mass by charge ratio. That is going to give you the answer. You should know the values and then substitute it. That's it. So radius of proton, radius of electron, and radius of helium. Okay. Square root of mass of proton divided by charge of proton. Square root of mass of electron divided by charge of electron. So on a comparative study between these two, what do you get?
RP greater than RE.
எப்படி RP? RP, because mass is growing. Okay. RP is greater than RE. Okay, this is over. So if you do the comparative study between the greater values R helium and R proton, what do you get? So helium la எத்தனை protons இருக்கு?
2 proton.
2 இருக்குல்ல. So what is the charge? What is going to be the charge of helium?
So root mp by root 2 qp ன்னு வரும் நினைக்கிறேன்.
By 2 times the charge of
root 2 sir, root 2 sir. ரெண்டு proton இருக்குல்ல.
So 1 by root 2 into
rp sir. Basically 1 by root 2 into rp.
1 by root 2 times RP. Then what should be the answer? The answer that I have in my hand says,
Sir,
this
rp
thing.
greater than rhe greater than re sir.
ஆனா அந்த மாதிரி எக்ஸ்பிரஷன் இல்லையே.
ஓ அப்போ
RP
he தான் லீஸ்டா?
RHE லீஸ்ட் கிடையாது. Because see, இது டெஃபினட்டா இது ரெண்டும் கிடையாது. Okay. So one thing, they have the same energy அப்படின்னா, the only thing that, see, since I had momentum, I converted in terms of energy. The energy that it can possess is kinetic energy. அதனால தான் அந்த ஸ்கொயர் ரூட்டே வந்தது. கரெக்டா? என்கிட்ட இருக்கிற ஆன்சர்ல என்ன பண்ணியிருக்காங்கன்னா, they have directly taken the momentum, which according to me is wrong. If you do it in that way, then you can directly, like how Varun told, you can directly say R is directly proportional to M divided by Q. Are you guys able to understand my logic? Then they should have used the word momentum. ஏன்னா சில questions they use the word momentum, have the same momentum அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க வெச்சுக்கோ, then things would have been different. Then I would have taken inversely proportional to Q something. When they use the word energy, I cannot speak anything about velocity, right? ஏன்னா mass I can speak. What can I speak about velocity? Because they are not projected to the same velocity. அப்படியா சொல்லியிருக்கேன் எங்கேயாவது? They didn't mention anything about velocity, no? They told only same energy. So according to me, the method in which they did is wrong. சரியா? So RP is greater than RE. This is for sure. The answer they have given is R helium is greater than RP is greater than RE. I doubt there is a misprint in this book. Let me check with the question in some other book. Okay, but I hope you understood the logic, right? Keeping the answer aside.
Yes sir.
You guys, that is more important for me. Third, இதே மாதிரி தான். A proton and alpha particle with their masses in the ratio 1:4 and the charges in the ratio 1:2 are accelerated from rest through a potential difference B. Okay. If a uniform magnetic field B is set up perpendicular to their velocities, the ratio of Rp to R alpha of the circular paths described by them.
Sir, actually I have a doubt. On the previous question ஏன் first option எதுக்கு வரக்கூடாது?
எதுக்குடா first option வர சான்ஸ் இருக்கா? Are we getting it using this formula?
இல்ல சார், ஏன்னா வந்து charge will be twice of what's there in the proton and mass will be 4 times of whatever is there in the proton.
Oh, Amal, okay, that's right. Mass is then it should be option A. What you told is right. I made a mistake. So then option should be in this way. The radius of proton can be equal to the radius of helium, but it should be greater than Re. I made a mistake, correct? இங்க 2 ன்னு எடுத்துட்டேன் நியூமரேட்டர்ல. 2 கிடையாது, it is 4. Okay, then option should be A. Good. இப்ப second one பார்த்தனா, what are they saying? They're accelerated from rest through a potential. Why did this potential difference come into picture? So how do we relate momentum to the concept of this potential difference? ஏன்னா எல்லா இடத்துலயும் பார்த்தனா R is equal to mv தான் இருக்கு. mv divided by qb, or I can write it as p divided by qb. This p can also be written as root of 2m into k divided by qb. And how can I relate this kinetic energy with the potential difference? This we have seen in atoms chapter. Atoms என்னன்னு பார்த்திருக்கோம்.
சார் அது ஈவின்னு போடணும் அந்த கைனடிக் எனர்ஜி.
That's right. So root of 2m into EV divided by QV. So இதுலேருந்து இந்த formula use பண்ண இந்த question. That is what they are indirectly saying. Use this and tell me what is the answer. Do it fast. So R is equal to root of 2m into EV divided by QB. So keeping the constant parameters aside, try to calculate what they are asking. Actually, don't write it as EV. EV should be written only for electron. Write it as Q into V. Charge multiplied with the potential difference. அப்போ என்னவா இருக்கும்? It is 1 by B into root of 2m into V divided by Q. Can I write it like this? So what parameters are constant? Uniform magnetic field is set up. So B is constant, and what else? V is constant. They're accelerated through a potential difference V. So R is directly proportional to what parameters? Root of m by Q. So Rp by R alpha என்னவா இருக்கும்டா? Square root of mp by qp into q alpha divided by m alpha. Pannunga, you will get the answer. They've given the values also, no? The mass of proton and alpha particle with their mass are in the ratio 1:4. So square root of 1 divided by 4 into 1 by 2 na 2. So this will get cancelled. 1:√2 an option rakha. That's the answer. Guys, I hope you are clear. Fourth one. A particle of mass m and charge q is in an electric and magnetic field given by this expression. The charged particle is shifted from origin to a point x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1 along a straight line. The magnitude of the total work done is. So, work done now, what are all the parameters we need? So to calculate the work done, what are all the parameters we need?
Sir, force.
Yes, you need force and displacement, correct? So இதுல இருந்து force கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியுமா பாருங்க.
Q மல்டிப்ளை பண்ணா
Q into எதோட மல்டிப்ளை பண்ணுவேன்? I think there is some data.
அந்த B அந்த E plus B cross V.
Correct. Here the charged particle is, so what is the meaning of this word along straight line path? So indirect அவன் என்ன சொல்ல வர? Yeah, if you read this question, no, I'm having many questions in my mind. F is equal to the Lorentz formula that we saw is Q into E vector plus V vector cross B vector, correct? So this is the force experienced by the particle. So when you need to calculate the work done, you will multiply this force with the displacement. Okay, I am assuming the displacement I can use the position vector of P and origin and find it out. Okay. But why did they use the word straight line path? If a particle has to move in a straight line path in the combined electric and magnetic field.
Sir, helical path சம்பந்தமா
எதுரா?
இல்ல சார், லைக் ஹெலிக்கல் பாத் அப்படி ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா அந்த மாதிரி சம்பந்தம் இருக்காது.
ஹெலிக்கல் பாத்னு எப்படி வரும்ங்கடா? ஹெலிக்கல் பாத் இஸ் அந்த ஹெலிக்கல் பாத் எங்க வருது? இட் இஸ் only in the case of magnetic field when the angle is other than 0, 180 or 90. இங்க வந்து அவன் ஸ்ட்ரெயிட் லைன், அவன் டைரக்டா ஸ்ட்ரெயிட் லைன் சொல்றான். The charged particle is shifted from origin to a point along a straight line path. So அதனால what can you speak about the magnetic field என்றது என்னோட question. Because they didn't give any velocity here. So I'm assuming the particle is moved from one point to another. ஒரு சில ambiguities இருக்கு, but shifted na it can either be moved very fast. Fast in the sense the particle has accelerated. Accelerated, it has experienced force. And இன்னொன்னு பார்த்தனா electric field is confined to which plane? It is confined to the xy plane. Magnetic field is confined to yz plane. And the particle has been moved in which plane? It has been moved only in the xy plane. So what can I speak about the magnetic force? That is what I want to know. Shifted from
Sir, நம்ம velocity vector can we consider it to be I cap plus J cap, sir?
எப்படி சொல்ற? இல்லையே, velocity அது கிடையாது. ஏன்னா நீ position vector of point P is I cap plus J cap. கரெக்டா? Position vector of point P is I cap plus J cap. இதை நீ differentiate பண்ணதானே வரும். Provided you can differentiate this only if you have certain variables.
Sir, answer 5q sir.
5q is right, but உனக்கு எப்படி வந்தது?
ஓ சார், நான் டைரக்டா என்ன எழுதிருக்கேன், x1 y1 கொடுத்திருக்காங்க சார். Since they didn't say anything about velocity, I considered that there is no, I mean, b vector, I mean, magnetic field ஒரு வர்க்கும் பண்ணல, ஃபோர்ஸும் வரல, வர்க்கும் இல்ல. சோ நான் டைரக்டா என்ன போட்டேன்,
அதுதான் ஆன்சர் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்றேன். எனக்கும் அந்த பாயிண்ட் தான் வந்தது. பட் ஐ அம் ட்ரைங் டு ரீட் தி क्वेश्चन மல்டிபிள் டைம்ஸ் பிகாஸ் ஏதாவது ஹிண்ட் கொடுத்திருக்கான்னு நான் தேடுறேன். அப்படி எடுத்தா அவன் ஆன்சர் கரெக்ட் தான். பட் அதுதான் எடுக்கணும்னு எனக்கு எப்படி தெரியும்? நான் கேட்கறது புரியுதா? See, I would have taken v vector cross b vector to be 0. At least this OP vector had been in the yz plane. A satisfactory understanding at least. இது பார்த்தனா இது xy plane ல இருக்கு, b vector is in yz plane. So there is a possibility when you do the cross product between these two vectors, you will get something. So அதனால I'm just trying to understand what is he meaning by straight line path and shifted na enna thirupi solra nalla kettuko. Inga whenever you do work can be done in two ways. If for example when we derive the expressions for electrostatic potential energy due to a point charge, na or important point sollirpen enna sollirpen, how is the test charge moved? How is the test charge moved? Our important point sollirpen, notice panningla adhu. This source charge nu vechuko, test charge is q naught na. From infinity when you are moving the test charge, it should be moved as slow as possible. Yeah, அப்படி சொல்றேன். Because at every stage I want only potential energy to exist between them. I don't want kinetic energy. So இங்க அவன் shifted சொன்னதனால shifted slowly ன்னு சொல்லியிருந்தான்னு வெச்சுக்கோ, I would have taken v vector definitely to be 0. எனக்கு அதுதான் வந்து I don't have an answer. But still there is an ambiguity in this question. Okay. So next time என்னன்னா இந்த straight line path பார்த்தா we can take v vector cross b vector to be 0. If you take like this, then how are you going to solve the problem? If v vector cross b vector
Sir,
is 0,
I think that அவங்க shifted na I think that அவங்க velocity இல்லாத மாதிரி தான் அவங்க சொல்றாங்க.
அதான் சார், அதான் நானும் யோசிச்சேன் சார்.
அதான் சொல்றேன். shifted slowly ன்னு சொல்லலாம், இல்ல shift எப்படி see, I can ask any question, கரெக்ட்டா? இப்போ நான் கூட இந்த பாயிண்ட் இன்ஃபினிட்டில இருந்து நான் மூவ் பண்றேன்னு நான் சொல்றேன். If I say I'm moving the particle, immediate question that will be arising is, are you moving it as slow as possible or fast as possible? Fast move பண்ண என்ன வரும்? kinetic energy கூட வந்துரும். kinetic energy வந்தா particle velocity இருக்குன்னு அர்த்தம். புரியுதா? I'm just trying to ask questions. I'm just trying to think. அவ்வளவுதான், வேற எதுவும் இல்ல. So shifted நான் சொன்னேன்,
ஆப்ஜெக்ட் ஒரு பிளேஸ்ல இருந்து எடுத்து இன்னொரு பிளேஸ்ல போட்டோம்னா that doesn't mean that it gains velocity. மேபி அவங்க அந்த மாதிரி இதுல பண்ணிருக்காங்க.
அதுதான் சொல்றேன். அதான் அவங்க they should have actually mentioned the question. நான் சொல்றேன் புரியுதா? அது அவங்க சைடுல மிஸ்டேக்னு சொல்ல வரேன். or else இந்த புக்ல பிரிண்டிங் மிஸ்டேக்கா இருந்திருக்கலாம். I have to check the original source for this. Correct? So shifted na, let's assume that it is moved as slow as possible. If that is the case, then our justification is validated that b vector cross b vector is 0. So the only force that is existing on this particle is due to electrostatic field. அப்படி எடுத்து வேணா ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க. Tell me what is the answer you are getting. அதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா, again we don't know how the particle, since the force that is acting on the particle is q into e vector. Correct? So we will calculate the small amount of work done. Small amount of work done is equal to f vector into dx or f vector dot dx vector எடுத்துக்கிறேன். So q
அவங்க
into
மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டையும் கொடுத்ததுனால தான் கொஞ்சம் கன்ஃபியூசிங்கா இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கு.
ஆமா, they should have actually not given. கரெக்டா?
ஆமா, ஆக்சுவலி
நான்
மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட்
கேட்கறது
இல்லைன்னா
புரியுதா?
போனா கேள்வி ஈஸியா முடிச்சிடலாம்.
ஈஸியா முடிச்சிடலாம். பட் அதை கொடுத்துட்டு see there are two things they have mentioned. நான் என்ன யோசிச்சேன்னா, see had it been j vector that is the particle had been moved to y is equal to 1 and z is equal to 1, yes, my question is my answer is valid. கொஞ்சமாவது வேலிடேட் ஆகும். ஏன்னா நான் கிராஸ் ப்ராடக்ட் பண்ணும்போது ஏதாவது 0 வரும்னு அட்லீஸ்ட் அஸ்யூம் பண்ணிப்பேன். புரியுதா? சோ அதுவும் இல்லை என் கையில. they have so அதனால இந்த ரெண்டு கீவேர்ட் வச்சு தான் I'm trying to understand. so dx I cap plus dy j cap. ஓகேவா? so 2q dx plus 3q dy, the integral of this from 0 to 1, இங்க கூட 0 to 1, that is the answer. So integrate பண்ணுங்க, you will get 2q plus 3q which is 5q. Okay, 5q option இருக்குல்ல?
இருக்கு சார்.
I check the original source. The word எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு கொடுத்திருக்கணும். இல்லனா next time going forward what you can do is if at all this kind of a question comes in the exam, சரியா shifted அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்கன்னா you can assume that the object is moved with equilibrium at every point. That is, it is moved as few as possible. அப்படின்னு வச்சுக்கலாம். So fifth. So I'm talking about an experiment. In an experiment, electrons are accelerated from rest by applying a voltage of 500 volt. Calculate the radius of the path if the magnetic field is 100 millitesla. Formula would apply the calculation, you do it later. I'm only concerned about the concept. Electrons are accelerated from rest. In the question level clearer, from rest initial velocity is 0 by applying a voltage of 500 volt. So they are electrons. So charge is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. So calculate the radius of the circular path. R is equal to mv by qb. And the mv la enna use பண்ணுவீங்க? You will use the last one. Square root of 2m into ev divided by ep. As use பண்ணிட்டு you can solve it. So this is a simple problem. You need not solve this. But yeah, see, 7th and 2nd question are the same. Ilya, they're almost similar actually, except the fact that here alpha particle, here helium nucleus is alpha particle only. Yes, they both are same. But 2018, 2019, same question. They have same kinetic energy. They're using the word same energy. Let me check what is the answer for this one. 7th one. I thought 5th is also similar. That is why I didn't do. You guys can read the question. If you feel it is difficult, you can try it out. 7th one, but yeah, 7th one is like how we solved. So our answer for the second one is right. So Rp is equal to R alpha greater than Re. That is the answer. That is right. Printing mistake. Guys, satisfied? Convinced, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 6th one, then we can move on to the next concept. There is a particle which has the same charge as of electron, moves in a circular path of radius 0.5 centimeter under the influence of magnetic field 0.5 Tesla. If an electric field of 100 volt per meter makes it move in a straight line path, then the mass of the particle. So, when can a combined electric field and magnetic field make the particles move in a straight line path? Only when they are mutually perpendicular to each other. That didn't happen in the 4th question again because the electric field and magnetic field were not mutually perpendicular. I would have at least told that magnetic force is not zero. So, there is an electric field that is applied such that the particle starts moving in a straight line path. So, upon the velocity selector concept, then what are they asking? Mass of the particle is how much? So what are the steps to be followed?
சார் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து v வந்து ஈக்குவல் டு e by b னு போட்டுட்டு தென் அந்த ரேடியஸ் ஃபார்முலா சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ணிடணும்.
V வந்து
இந்த
V
e by b அந்த எலக்ட்ரிக் ஃபீல்ட் பை மேக்னெட்டிக்
பண்ண V is equal to E by B கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டு then substitute it in the radius formula, you will get the answer.
ரேடியஸ் ஃபார்முலா.
That's right. And you will get the answer. That's right. So we need not do this question, right? Calculation part, I hope you guys will do it. Shall we move on to the concepts? So magnetic force and path of charged particle and uniform fields. Let's so Bayes law and Ampere circuit law based problem. So first one, it is, I think this is a CBSE NCERT solid example. Find the magnetic field at a point P due to a straight line segment AB of length 6 cm carrying a current of 5 ampere. So either 5, up in the distance, if I take this midpoint as P, it's 3 into 4 a Pythagorean triplet. So what is the formula, guys? Mu naught divided by 4 pi into I divided by R due to a finite length conductor. It is sin phi 1 plus sin phi 2, correct? Where phi 1 and phi 2 should be the angles near the point where you are calculating the field. Now, they will take it at the base. இங்க எடுப்பாங்க. இது தப்பு. அப்படி எடுத்தா cos வரும். Because that is how the formula is derived.
So R
mu naught by 4.
Pythagoras.
R is the distance.
4 ஆயிடும் sir.
R is the distance. Distance, the perpendicular distance.
Okay sir.
Okay, mu naught by 4 pi is 10 power minus 7 into I எவ்வளோட கொடுத்திருக்கான் 5 divided by 4 into sin phi 1 எவ்வளோ பாரு 3 by 5 3 by 5 plus 3 by 5 6 by 5 5 and 5 are gone 2 times 3 times 2 times, so 1.5 into 10 power minus 7 இருக்கா answer இல்ல. Oh, because into 10 power minus 2 I forgot.
So into 10 power plus 2 sir. ஏனா 4
denominator போய்டு. That is 1.5 into 10 power minus 5 இருக்கா second option la
B sir.
B. So shall we try the next one? Second one, a thin ring of 10 centimeter radius carries a uniformly distributed charge. Okay. The ring rotates at a constant angular speed of 40 pi radians per second about its axis perpendicular to its plane. If the magnetic field at its center is 3.8 into 10 power minus 10 Tesla, then the charge carried by the ring is close to. This question is slightly ambiguous. What is it? You can easily get confused because they're using two things. One is charge. Charge, we'll speak only about electric field. But when the same ring is put into circular motion, what is happening? They are able to observe. Means a compass is placed at the center or a sensor is placed at the center. They are able to sense magnetic field. And if its value is calculated, you will over the 3.8 into 10 power minus 9. If this should happen, what should be the charge on the ring? So what does this chapter tell us magnetic effects of current? The charge has to be in motion. So here what are they doing? The charge is given and it is put into circular motion. So our work is to calculate what is the value of it. How to do? There is no direct formula for this. We have to think. What idea are you people getting in your mind? Okay, let's think like this. Instead of charge, have they given the current then how will you calculate the magnetic field due to a thin ring at its center?
சார் ஒமேகா இருக்கு, ரேடியஸ் இருக்குல்ல சார்.
Okay.
ஸோ அதை வச்சுட்டு v கண்டுபிடிக்கலாம்.
v கண்டுபிடிச்சு என்ன பண்ண போறேன்? இந்த क्वेश्चन v தேவை இல்லையே. ஏன்னா நம்மளுக்கு velocity எப்ப தேவை? when you need to calculate the radius of the circular path. இந்த क्वेश्चन பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் நம்மளுக்கு v தேவை இல்லையா?
ஓ சரி சரி, ஓகே ஓகே.
ஓகே. see நான் திருப்பி கேக்குறேன், நல்லா யோசிச்சுக்கோ. thin ringக்கு ஓகே, thin ring ன்னு சொல்றாங்க. அதுக்கு வந்து charge per had they given you current. How will you calculate the magnetic field due to a circular current carrying coil at its center? It is mu naught. Tell me that. So
Sir,
mu naught
current and we have to substitute it as charge by time.
That's the thing. So you have to write it as q divided by t.
So on the time is 2 pi by omega nu போட்றலாம் அந்த பார்ட்னா.
That's it. அவ்வளவுதான். So manipulation மட்டும்தான். So I is equal to q omega divided by 2 pi. கரெக்ட்டா எல்லா வேல்யூஸும் இருக்கா? சார்ஜ் கண்டுபிடிக்கணுமா? ஓகே, சார்ஜ் is what? Omega is given. Angular speed 40 pi. இது பாத்துக்கோங்கடா. If they give it as revolutions per second, don't directly substitute it. நிறைய பேர் அந்த தப்பு பண்ணுவாங்க. Revolutions per second கொடுத்தா வெறும் frequency அது. Angular frequency கிடையாது. Okay, into 2 pi. So எல்லாமே substitute பண்ண வந்துருமா? I is equal to q into 40 pi divided by 2 pi. Pi cancel. It will be 20q. Correct? So I வந்து 20q. Magnetic field is given. So 3.8 into 10 power minus 9 is equal to mu naught is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. The whole divided by 2 into, what is the radius? 10 centimeters. So 10 into 10 power minus 2 into, I kubadala, can I write it as 20 times q? 10 times poko, 10 and 10 will get cancelled. 3.8 now. So 3.8 into 10 power minus 9 is equal to 4 into 3.14 into 10 power minus 7, the 10 power minus 5 into q. So you guys, I'm leaving this calculation part to you. So calculated. Since they have told is close to, you can write the approximate value. Surya, next. Try this question, third one. The magnitude of the magnetic field at the center of an equilateral triangular loop of side 1 meter, which is carrying a current of 10 ampere, is given by. Center of an equilateral triangular loop. Loop ன்றதுனால current also has to be in a loop. I and I. Since direction is not mentioned, I'm just taking clockwise direction of current. Current வந்து 10 ampere, side வந்து 1 meter. Okay. So ஒரே ஒரு சைடு எடுத்தோம்னு வெச்சுக்கோயேன். So ஒரு சைடு எடுத்தேன்னா, what is going to be the field at the center due to one of the sides? இப்போ இந்த பாயிண்ட் நான் ஓன் எடுக்கிறேன்னா, how much is this distance, guys? ஒன்னுனா இது half.
அந்த சென்டர்னு எடுத்தா do we take it as the centroid of the triangle, sir?
It is centroid, right? Centroid, orthocenter and circumcenter எல்லாமே ஒண்ணுதான்.
அப்போ அந்த 2:1 ரேஷியோ அந்த
அதுதான் எக்ஸாக்ட்லி அதுதான் பண்ணும். ஸோ அதை வச்சு என்ன பண்ணலாம்? ஸோ திஸ் 30 degrees ஆங்குலர் பைசெக்டர்னு சொல்லலாம். ஸோ இது half அப்படின்னா இந்த டிஸ்டன்ஸ் உன்னால கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியுமா? இது y ன்னு எடுத்தேன்னு வச்சுக்கோ. y divided by 30 எவ்வளோ? சாரி, y divided by half வந்து எவ்வளோ? sin 30. So y should be 1/4. 1/4 is exactly half. வராது அப்படி. No, y divided by half is tan 30, sorry. So y will be 1/2 √3, correct? அப்ப இந்த angle எவ்வளோ? This is 60. This is also 60. So 5/1 and 5/2 are 60 degrees. So what is the formula? Mu naught divided by 4 pi into I divided by d into sine of phi 1 plus sine of phi 2. Mu naught by 4 pi is 10 power minus 7. Okay, எடுத்துக்கிறேன் 10 power minus 7. I எவ்வளோ 10 divided by the distance is 1 by 2 root 3 into root 3 by 2 plus root 3 by 2. So 2 will get cancelled here. Root 3 மேலே போயிடுச்சுன்னா 10 power minus 6 into root 3 will get multiplied. So 2 times root 3 into root 3 is 3. So 6 into 10 power minus 6 இருக்கடா. 6 into 10 power minus 6 Tesla, that is 6 micro Tesla. This is due to one side. All the three sides will have the same magnitude into 3. Answer எவ்வளோ
18.
நல்ல வேலை 6 இல்லை, we would have ticked it. So 18 micro Tesla is the answer.
சார் எல்லா சைடுக்குமே ஒரே டைரக்ஷன் தான் இருக்குமா சார் இது? It is
into the plane. It is into the plane. ஏன்னா ரைட் இது அப்ளை பண்ணி ரைட் ஹேண்ட் தம்ப் ரூல் அப்ளை பண்ணி பார்.
எஸ் சார். சார் இன்டர் தி பிளேன்னா மைனஸ் கே கேப் தானே?
மைனஸ் கே கேப். It is simple ரா. See, simple. ஒரே ஒரு கான்செப்ட் சொல்றேன், ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோ. It is applicable throughout physics. If you see anything in the clockwise direction, okay, இது ஆக்சுவலா ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் இருக்கு, clockwise moments are negative அப்படின்னா. If you see anything in the clockwise direction, it is always into the plane. Your thumb will always go into the plane because you will use only your right hand. நீ curl பண்ணி பாரு. Just keep your hand in such a way that you are able to curl the fingers of your right hand in the clockwise direction. Your thumb will point into the plane. Similarly, anything in the anti-clockwise direction is always negative. அதனால தான் பார்த்தனா clockwise ல போகும்போது we are able to see south pole. So if I take the analog, if I take the similarity between a charge and magnetism, south pole will behave like a negative charge, correct? So அதனால பார்த்தனா everything will be into the plane. So இது இந்த ஒரு கான்செப்ட் you can remember throughout physics. எல்லா இடத்துலயும், not only in rotation motion, எல்லா இடத்துலயும். Repeating it, clockwise moments are always negative, anti-clockwise moments are always positive. Example வந்து your water bottle cap. If you turn the cap of your water bottle in the anti-clockwise direction, it will be towards you. If you turn the cap of your water bottle in the clockwise direction, it is always away from you. அதே கான்செப்ட். Okay, so அதே மாதிரி தான் இங்க கூட பார்த்தனா current is in clockwise direction, it is into the plane. சரியா? Fourth, so two very long straight and insulated wires are kept at 90 degrees angle from each other in the xy plane shown in the figure. These wires carry currents of equal magnitudes I, whose directions are as shown in the figure. The net magnetic field at the point P will be how much? சொல்றா, இங்க வந்து directions are important because the point P has a specific direction. So take the individual wires separately and then do it. So before you start solving, if you just apply the right hand thumb rule, you might get the answer directly. இப்போ நான் சொன்ன கான்செப்ட் அப்ளை பண்ணி பாருங்க. So if I label this as the first wire and second wire, what is the direction of magnetic field at point P due to the first wire? If you guys are sitting and calculating it, before doing that, answer my question. Due to the first wire, what is the direction of magnetic field at point P? Is it into the plane or out of the plane?
Into the plane.
Into the plane due to the first wire. Due to the second wire?
Second wire direction, sir.
Towards my side, sir. Onto.
It is out of the plane.
Yes.
Functions into onto.
Sorry.
Okay. So it is out of the plane. சரியா?
into the plane onto. Yeah.
I understood. அதனால சொன்னது functions கிடையாது. Okay, that's okay. It happens. So இங்க வந்து பார்த்தா ஸ்ரீவத்சன், the current is in the rightward direction. So rightward direction and apply right hand thumb rule and see, no, it is out of the plane.
Out of
And two important. So both have the same magnitude of current and both are infinite wires at the same distance d from. You need to calculate at a point P at the same distance d from them. So what do you think will happen? If this gives magnetic field B, this will give a magnetic field of minus B. So do we need to sit and calculate? Answer is directly 0.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's
சார்
it.
ஆக்சுவலி இந்த நான் பண்றது கரெக்டா? நான் ஆக்சுவலி பண்ற போது நான் என்ன பண்றேன்னா, லைக் கம்ப வந்து கரண்ட் டைரக்ஷன்ல பாயிண்ட் பண்ணி என் ஃபிங்கர்ஸ் எங்க கேர்ல இருந்தோ அதுதான் மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட் டைரக்ஷன்.
That's correct. That's right. That's right. So எப்பவுமே என்ன பண்றேன்னா, சிவே நான் காட்டுறேன். Switch on my video. இப்போ எப்படி இருக்குன்னா, கரண்ட் இது பாரு, இதுதான் இந்த கேப் தான் டைரக்ஷன் ஆஃப் கரண்ட் வச்சுக்கோ. Okay, the cap is the direction. இப்போ இந்த direction if I place my thumb, always on the right of the conductor it will be into the plane. So எந்த side into the plane கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டோம்னா அதுக்கு opposite side is always out of the plane. அவ்வளவுதான் லாஜிக். அப்படி நான் வச்சு. Okay, so your only target should be to find into the plane. Into the plane கண்டுபிடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் automatically the opposite direction on the other side of it is always in the reverse direction. Magnetic field பொறுத்த வரைக்கும், because it's in a circular loop format. புரியுதா? நீ பண்றது கரெக்ட் தான். I'm just giving you an additional tip. புரியுதுடா?
எஸ் சார்.
Okay.
இல்ல நான் என்ன பண்றேன்னா, லைக் இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்ட்ரைட் கண்டக்டர்ஸ்க்கு வந்து தம்ப யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு டைரக்ஷன் கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டு, இந்த மாதிரி இந்த லைக் சர்க்குலர் கண்டக்டர்ஸ்னால யூசிங் மை ஹேண்ட் தென் தம் டைரக்ஷன் எந்த சைடு போறது
அது பண்ணலாம். நீ ஒரு அதான் சொல்றேன், ரூல் இஸ் வெரி சிம்பிள். தம் வச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் த டைரக்ஷன் where it is into the plane. If one side of the conductor it is into the plane, on the other side of the conductor, for example, என்ன சொல்ல வரேன்னா, circular conductor வெச்சுக்கோ, இந்த side into the plane na, by default other side will be out of the plane. That will happen. That is how magnetic field works. Okay, நீ பண்றது கரெக்ட் தான்டா, nothing wrong.
ஓகே.
So fifth one பார்க்கலாம். One last problem, then we'll move on to the next concept. As shown in the figure, two infinitely long identical wires are bent by 90 degrees and placed in such a way that the segments LP and QM are along the x-axis, while segments PS and QN are parallel to the y-axis. If OP is equal to OQ is equal to 4 centimeter and the magnitude of the magnetic field at O is 10 power minus 4 Tesla and the two wires carry equal currents, the magnitude of current in each wire and the direction of magnetic field at point O will be how much? Okay, question is very big. Okay, so tell me, is this an example of an infinitely long wire or semi-infinitely long wire?
Semi-infinitely long.
So it is semi-infinitely. Due to LP and QM, what will be the magnetic field at point O? So if I extend LP and QM, is it not going to pass through the point? Correct. So if I extend LP and QM, it is going to pass through the point O. So if the current carrying conductor is going to pass through the point where the field is to be calculated, the contribution of it for the magnetic field is 0. So these two are like dummy wires. They have no use. Now what about PS and QN? Magnetic field due to, if I'll call this as first and this as second, magnetic field due to the first is, சொல்லுங்கடா formula, mu naught I divided by denominator என்ன எழுதணும்? Semi-infinitely long wire. Four pi r மறந்துடாதீங்க.
சார்
V2.
சோ இந்த இதுல வந்து லைக் அந்த ஒரு 5 வந்து pi by 2 னு போட்டு இன்னொரு 0 னு போட்டுருங்க
அவ்வளவுதான். அதுதான். That is why you get 4 pi r.
சார் சோ அப்பனா ஒரே ஃபார்முலா ஞாபகம் வச்சிருந்தா போதுமா தென் ஆஃப்டர் தட் நான் சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட்
That is
பண்ணா
up to that. If you can remember the bigger formula, I'm more than happy. நான் அப்படிதான் ஞாபகம் வச்சிருப்பேன்.
எனக்கு இந்த குட்டி குட்டி ஃபார்முலா தான் சார் ஞாபகம் இருக்க மாட்டேங்குது. If I consider as a special case னா then I'll be able to remember.
And then better remember bigger. Even I have that problem. There is nothing wrong with that. ஒருத்தங்களுக்கு ஒரு மாதிரி அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங். There is nothing wrong. I'm leaving that point to you. However you are might be the other two guys might feel this is easy. That is the case. You guys remember however you want. எனக்கும் அப்படிதான். பெரிய ஃபார்முலா ஞாபகம் வச்சுப்பேன். அதுல இருந்து I will derive it. Okay. So I've written the magnitudes. Now what about the directions? So first what is the direction of magnetic field? Is it into the plane or out of the plane? It is, and I'll understand whether I need to subtract.
ரெண்டுமே into the plane தான் சார் போறது.
It is both are into the plane. So அதனால net magnetic field will get added. So net magnetic field in our mu naught I divided by 2 pi r means this wire and this wire put together are acting like a infinitely long wire. Adana formula mu naught I by 2 pi r. So 2 ஆல multiply பண்ணி I am dividing with 2. So mu naught by 4 pi என்றது எவ்வளவு 10 power minus 7. So 2 into 10 power minus 7 into I எவ்வளோடா? I is what we need to find. I divided by distance is 4 centimeter. 4 into 10 power minus 2. இதோட வேல்யூ எவ்வளவு கொடுத்திருக்கான் 10 power minus 4. So this will go 3 times. Then it will go to numerator. இது வந்து 1 by 2. So 0.5 into 10 power minus 1 into I is what you need to find. I is equal to 2 into 10 power 1. So 20 ampere. And the direction of magnetic field கேட்டிருக்கான்ல, it is into the plane. So 20 ampere and into the plane. இருக்கா? Option B. Till now we didn't do problems based on idilla ampere circuit. So we have to do that also. அப்ப இதுவே continue பண்ணலாம். இது try பண்ணுங்கடா. One of the two identical conducting wires of length L is bent in the form of a circular loop and the other into the circular coil of n identical turns. If the same current is passed in both, and the same current is passed, the ratio of the magnetic field at the center of the loop to the center of the coil is how much? Do it fast, no? So one of the two identical conducting wires of length L is bent in the form of a circular loop. So our radius will be L by 2 pi. Correct? And another into a circular coil of n identical turns. Actually, there is a simple problem. Do it fast now. Is it taking so much time? Current same then, huh? So case 1, L is equal to 2 pi r. R எவ்வளோ? L by 2 pi. What is the magnetic field at the center of the loop? Loop na ஒரு turn, coil na multiple turns. அவ்வளோதான் வித்தியாசம். So mu naught I divided by 2r. Don't write it as 2 pi r. So mu naught I divided by 2 into L divided by 2 pi. Cancel. So mu naught I into pi divided by L. This is the value of BL. What about BC? Mu naught I divided by 2r. So mu naught I divided by 2 into r எவ்வளோ? It is mu naught Ni divided by 2r because it has n number of turns. L divided by 2 pi n. Correct? This n will go to the numerator. So BC வந்து mu naught I into n square divided by 2 and 2 will get cancelled. Pi மேல வந்துரும் L. So
1
divide
by n
both.
square,
What?
sir.
That's the answer. Seventh one. டக்குன்னு பண்ணுங்க. So there is a current loop having two circular arcs joined by two radial lines as shown in the figure. It carries a current of 10 ampere. The magnetic field at point O is close to.
Sir, D,
Close
sir.
to, no? Everybody? So 45 converted to pi by 4. Radians convert பண்ணியா?
Oh, இல்ல sir.
என்ன
45 னே போட்டேன்.
So mu naught divided by 4 pi into I divided by R into theta. The பெரிய formula. Okay, so that part I hope you guys can do it.
Sir, what? அது ஏதோ pi squareலாம் வருதே sir.
Pi square வராதேடா. ஏன்னா theta pi by 4 னு போட்டனா pi and pi will get cancelled.
but sir mu naught க்கு நீங்க எப்படியும் இப்போ இது போடணும்ல 4 pi into 10 power minus 7.
Pi square வருதா?
ஒரு pi வரும்ல எப்படியும் at least. ஒரு pi வரும்.
இது
45 னு வெச்சாலே டைரக்ட்டா 1.5 னு வந்துது சார்.
ஆனா அந்த ஆன்சர் கிடையாதுடா. 1.5 கிடையாது ஆன்சர். Answer is 1 into 10 power minus 5 இருக்கு. Option A is the right answer. அது இருக்குடா. pi squareலாம் இருக்கு. It's a bit lengthy calculation தான், but you have no other option. ஏன்னா அது மெத்தட் தப்பு. You cannot write it in terms of angle. ஏன்னா அப்படிதான் derive ஆயிருக்குடா. நீ see if you want me to give a justification to it, நான் derive பண்ணி காட்டுறேன் பாரு. Mu naught I divided by 2R is what is the magnetic field at the center of a complete loop of a circular coil. Correct? So இதை நான் வந்து manipulate பண்றேன் பாரு. Mu naught by 4 pi since it's a big formula, I will multiply and divide it with 2. So 4 னு வந்துருமா? So 4 into I divided by R into இங்க ஒரு 2 இருக்கு. Okay, and the mu naught by 4 pi கொண்டு வரதுக்கு I'll multiply with pi here. Does this justify? இதுவும் இது ஒண்ணுதான். So in the 2 pi என்றது என்னது? This is the angle subtended by a circular loop at its center. 2 pi என்றது ரேடியன்ல இருக்கா டிகிரில இருக்கா?
Radian.
So you have no other option. You have to convert it. You cannot write it in degrees. 316 எழுதல per formula. I wrote it in terms of 2 pi. சரியா? அதான் ரீசன், வேற ஒண்ணு. So ஒருவேளை அப்படி உனக்கு வந்து ஆன்சர் வந்து 1.5 into 10 power minus 5 that is wrong answer. அது ஏன் கொடுத்திருக்காங்கன்னா வேணும்ட்டே தான். Because they are testing whether you are converting to degree or radian and leaving it. புரியுதா? So அது மாதிரி தான் கேட்பாங்க ஜெய். They wantedly give you wrong answer also. We escaped in one problem you saw, right? That equilateral triangle. I got the answer as 6. 6 at the 6 we would have picked it. But 6 is due to only one side. அப்ப 18 தான் கரெக்ட் ஆன்சர்ல. சோ அது மாதிரி நடக்கும் அவசரத்துல. So be careful.
ஒரே நிமிஷம் கால்குலேஷன் பண்ணி காட்டுங்க.
Calculation you have to do it. No other option. இரு. ரெண்டுமே ஒரே டைரக்ஷன்ல இருக்கு. சப்ட்ராக்ட் ஆகுதா ஆட் ஆகுதா? ஒரு டைரக்ஷன் மேல ஒரு டைரக்ஷன் கீழ. So due to these two wires it is 0. அது கிளியர்ல.
ஓகே சார். அப்ப சப்ட்ராக்ட் சார்.
அது எடுக்கல இல்ல? Due to
நான் அது எடுக்கல.
Due to இல்ல தேவையே இல்ல. If you don't take it also you're safe only because due to QP and RS at point O, because when you extend it, it is passing through point O, they contribute nothing to the magnetic field. But மீதி ரெண்டு வயரும் contribute பண்ணும், first and second. எனக்கு radius மட்டும் சொல்றியா, because I can't remember. So first wire-க்கு வந்து magnetic field என்னது, it is mu naught divided by 4 pi. Current எவ்வளோட கொடுத்திருக்கான்?
10 ampere sir.
Okay, 10 into 10 divided by radius வந்து 3 centimeter, correct? 3 into 10 power minus 2 into pi by 4, correct? So pi போயிடுச்சு. So B2 இது வந்து into the plane minus k cap, clockwise direction தானே, இல்ல out of the plane, plus k cap. அதே மாதிரி செகண்ட் வயர் பார்த்தனா B2 equal to 5 but same current. So mu naught divided by 4 pi into 10 divided by 5 into 10 power minus 2 into pi divided by 4. Pi cancel. இது வந்து minus k cap, correct? So the net magnetic field will get subtracted, B1 vector minus B2 vector. Obviously the one which is closer will contribute to more. So B1 minus B2 is the right answer. So mu naught by 4 into 10, எல்லாத்தையும் காமன் எடுத்துறேன், into 10 power minus 2, actually mu naught by 16 வந்துரும், into 1 by 3 minus 1 by 5, correct? So mu naught is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. Power la pi square.
Pi square la sir, pi da vandu.
5 minus 3 na 5 minus, it is 2 by 15. இது வந்து 8 times போகும், இது 2 times போகும். So 3.14 into 10 power minus 5.
What? Okay sir, vandu.
It's approximately 1 into 10 power minus 5.
Yes.
Okay. So one last problem. So tomorrow we'll start with ampere circuit to galvanometer, and then we'll go to the next concept. Magnetism. See, the other chapters will not take this much time. You know, they are all small only. But mudinjiro. Idu konjam periya chapter. So two identical wires A and B, each of length L, carry the same current I. The wire is bent into a circle of radius R, and wire B is bent to the form of a square of side A. B and BB are the values of the magnetic field at the center of the circle and the square respectively. Then the ratio of BA is to BB is. So what is the difference between the sixth and this one? Sixth we had only one formula. These are the two formula. Because for square what will happen, it will start behaving like a straight current carrying conductor. Correct? So takkan pannunga. Tell me what is the answer. Answer guys. Is it lengthy?
Pi square by 16 what sir?
Pi square by 16 illada. Pi square by 8.
எனக்கு 8 by root 2
8 root 2, that's the answer. Pi square by 8 root 2 is the answer. ஏன்னா I'll give you outline. BA வந்து என்ன வரும்னா mu naught I by 2R னு வரும். R வந்து L by 2 pi. கரெக்ட்டா? Small L by 2 pi. BB பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் என்னன்னா each side is L by 4. So அந்த ஸ்கொயர் எடுக்கும்போது L by 4 is the length of this. ஸ்ரீவச்சன் இது பண்ணியா 45 degrees and 45 degrees?
பண்ணே சார், ஏதோ சின்ன மிஸ்டேக் தான் சார். ஏதோ 2 வாட்டி மல்டிப்ளை பண்ணிட்டேன்.
ஓகே, அது செக் பண்ணிக்கோ. அது ஆனா அந்த கான்செப்ட் யூஸ் பண்ணல 45.
எஸ் சார், I did.
Then it's okay. So formula வந்து என்ன வரும்? mu naught I divided by 4 pi into distance. Distance எவ்வளோ? It is half of the length of the diagonal. Correct? இல்ல, it's not half of it. It's L by 8. It's L by 8 into sin 45 plus sin 45. That is nothing but root 2. So once you
2 எழுதிட்டேன் சார் தெரியாம.
Okay. So when you do that, you will get pi square by 8 root 2. That's it. So that's all about the application of Biot-Savart law. We will see Ampere circuit. இதெல்லாம் Ampere circuit law based. இதனால பார்க்கலாம். There are also interesting problems. அது முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன இருக்கு? டார்க் இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Magnetic force on current carrying wire is simple தான், இது ஒன்றும் பெரிய விஷயம் இல்லை. அதே மாதிரி magnetic dipole is also easy, not a big deal. And galvanometer. The galvanometer and the potentiometer is being dragged. While doing galvanometer itself, we'll do potentiometer also. Both are electrical equipments on the right. Okay, any other doubt from today's class? Still only you three are there. Okay. Sarida, let's wind up, okay?